All right, day 347. I believe after this is 18 days to go. Countdown is on. Okay, so today so what I had done is in my stories, I had put up this kind of request, basically, if anybody wanted me to talk about any specific topics in the next bit of this countdown of my final days of doing 365 IG lives. And yeah, one of the main topics is how did I find it, would I recommend it and everything. So I think I'm gonna take the bulk of those questions and do it towards the end as I'm coming near it, because right now I still don't feel in the energy that it's ending. I'm still in this routine, in this habit. And so what one person did suggest, they wanted me to talk about is the 88 days of planets between that. So basically starting January 22nd all the way to April 21st. So I did share I did share a video of that on my stories from someone else, but I will dive into it as well to give you guys some information of what that all means. And so basically, we are kind of ending the retrogrades right now, and there's a lot of shift happening. So if you're feeling you're shifting within you, and there's changes and everything, I'm going to explain why. So Mars retrograde ended last week. And definitely, I'm sure there's a lot of us that are whew, okay, that felt good, especially if you have Taurus, Scorpio, Aries placements in your big three, especially if you have those, you probably, and I think Gemini in there too must have. Anyways, if you had those placements, you probably yes, Gemini, because it was in the third house. It was yeah. So Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and Scorpio placements, if any of those are in your big threes, you probably felt a drastic shift the minute Mars retrograde ended. The minute Mars went direct, you're oh, what just happened? And so, yeah, so that was a big one. That was a big one that ended. I felt the shift. I felt the shift within me. As I said, I'm I'm feeling my core values changing. I'm thinking, also brainstorming my name, what I call myself, coach does no longer resonate. I don't know what, it's simmering, it's almost there, it's a tip of my tongue, but I haven't figured it out. And anyways, so that's that. And then tomorrow, Mercury retrograde is going direct, thank God. Okay, so Mercury was in Capricorn, so this is where there is these shifts that is around the work environment, what do you want out of work, but also what do you want out of your business, that. Capricorn is that work energy, and so that is going direct tomorrow, so that's gonna be nice. And then we got Friday, Aquarius season starts, Capricorn season ends. Then we got Saturday, which is a new moon in Aquarius, so very new beginnings. But here's what's really cool about it is that Saturday is new moon in Aquarius. Sunday, we are the Lunar New Year with the Chinese year. And I think it's I don't know what year it is. I don't know. I'm not going to say it because if I butcher it, then I'm just going to fuck it up. But also at the same time, Human Design, New Year is on Sunday as well. So we got all this crazy energy happening here of new kind of Aquarius season, new moon, new year, double, new year, lunar year, and new year, human design year. And then Uranus goes direct. So Uranus was also in retrograde, goes direct right after that, on the 23rd. So what does that all mean? It means go time. So it's going to be so between now and April 21st, we are not going to have any planets in retrograde. there's obviously going to be full moons and new moons and all these other things that are happening in the sky. And then obviously, like, depending on your birth chart, there's still going to be things happening. Like, there's always things happening, but there's no actual retrograde. So this is going to be a beautiful time to take action, a beautiful time to start something new, a beautiful time to create the thing that you've always wanted to create. And if you don't know it yet, that's okay. Like, you don't need to know it all. And when I'm saying start something new, it doesn't necessarily have to be like work related. It can just be like starting a new hobby or starting like a new sport. It can also be like, you know, this is like, it'll be a good time like to start a romantic like relationship as well. Like if you meet someone, this is like a nice good time because there's no planets in retrograde. So there's like, not that there's not going to be inner work. There's always going to be inner work, and there's always going to be like things to reflect on. But the retrogrades, like really what they do is they really shine light into the inner work, and they shine light into the darkness of like what it is you're meant to like learn or how you're meant to grow. But it's going to be nice. It's going to be like, it's going to be good. And then, you know, we are going to be hitting like Aries season as well. And so Aries season is always like, which is like, I mean, that's going to be in March. So there is going to be that like forward movement, like from March until April 21st with that Aries season coming in. So it's going to be very interesting. Aquarius season is all about like doing things like not the conventional way and like challenging that. And I think that there's going to be a beautiful like synergy with that, because it's just like we're hitting this like it's this week is going to feel more New Year-esque than the actual New Year that we just had. And yeah, Aquarius energy is basically doing things unconventional, questioning the narrative, questioning things about your life, questioning things like of how you see the stories you tell yourself. Questioning things like collectively, like Aquarius is all about the collective. So this is going to be very interesting energy. And then on top of it, Venus at some point is going to be moving from Aquarius into Pisces. So, and that is going to basically look like there's going to be more compassion towards love in that way, love for self, love for others. There's going to be more compassion, more like there'll probably be a little bit more forgiveness by having Venus in that sign. Pisces is a water sign, very emotional. So we might see a lot of those themes when it comes to love, self-love, like relationships and like partnerships and everything. So it's going to be a very, very interesting next few months. If you are feeling like the energy is going to be picking up for you, it's maybe around this time. Start setting some foundations. Start thinking of like, okay, like if you are an entrepreneur and you're thinking of launching some things, like, okay, like how can you set those foundations? What does that look like? Like I know for me, I've had the realization, like changing my core values, which I had that aha moment. I know that I do want to change like my tag of like what I'm called and also my Instagram bio. I did start a TikTok account. I took a pause because I felt called to. So I know that eventually I'm going to kind of get back on that bandwagon. And then my 365 is like ending, and not sure what I'm going to do with IG yet. Still simmering on this, but putting like today I'm going to be going in and giving my business cards to one of the spiritual stores here in Whistler, and just like setting these foundations of like looking at my schedule and continuously updating my calendar for readings, for one-to-one coaching and all that. And so what's interesting before, because I didn't actually have clients or people reaching out to me, like I wouldn't keep that schedule updated like at all, like until like somebody reached out and I'm like, oh shit, okay, now I should do it. But now having clients, it's like, it's more kind of reminding me of like, okay, like keep your schedule up to date and doing those things. And so kind of really just setting these foundations, these little pieces of the puzzle, setting them down so that when things do pick up, like it's there. It's not like I'm not scrambling at last minute trying to figure it all out. So how can you do that now, like in the next few days? Like what can you set in place to create that foundation too, so that when the energies does pick up and you start doing all the things, you're solid, you're grounded, you're solid, and you know where what is what. I have noticed, like, in the entrepreneurial space, like, especially, like, I've noticed some people are just either, I don't know if they're following the transit or they're doing it subconsciously, but I have noticed that people are setting these foundations, like hiring VAs, like, you know, to support them in their business, or, you know, like they're in a process of creating something new and they're showing behind the scenes, but they haven't launched just yet. And I'm seeing all these things happening now, and this is what this is all is. Like, this is the energy. So whether you're doing it consciously in awareness of the transits or subconsciously, like, this is the beauty of how the transits impact us, because they do impact us subconsciously. And so we do it naturally. Like, I didn't even realize I was putting the foundation until, like, I started reading up on the transits, and I'm like, oh, this makes sense why I'm doing this, and like why I haven't really taken action, or why I haven't shared with you guys like any of my offerings or what I'm doing like in my business other than my 365-day live, because it's like, no, like, it's not time. And I'm trusting that it's not time. And it's like, I am also not a money generator that is, you know, here to do go and do all the things, right? So yeah, I'm a projector. So I'm honoring, I can't even speak, but I'm honoring my energy, and I'm honoring my process on how, like, when it feels right to showcase, when it feels right to post, when it feels right to share what I want to share. So I was like, whoo, big thing. So this is like what I want to talk about. If you like this video, feel free to like, share, comment. And if you have any suggestions, like, we are like 18 videos to go, like 18 lives to go. Let me know what you want me to talk about. Let me know what you want me to dive deeper in. Like, you know, if you have any questions, if you've ever had any questions for me, if you've ever like been like, you know, like, Julie, like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, write in the comments, send me a DM. I would be more than happy to chat about it. Like, I really, yeah, I love talking about all things. And so that's that. Yay. Okay, cool. I'm going to log off because I do have a list of things to do today, and I will speak to you all tomorrow.